Welcome to From a Certain Point Askew, the fastest growing Star Wars podcast in the New Republic. This show is spreading faster than Metachlorian transfusion in an empirical sickbay. I am your host, the Angry Ginger. You know how hard I try to write these things to be terrible?
I know. I think it
mission accomplished.
I just want to think.
I think it actually just comes naturally to you. To be honest with you,
it's it's a talent of mine.
You're like I am your father of dad jokes.
Yes. I am the Angry Ginger. We got 40% more Metachlorians, and I am coming to you from inside Wookiee Poo Studios. Neighbor Cole sitting across from me.
The neighbor from across the galaxy, not the fence.
Across the wayway?
Yeah, all the way from
my neighbor
Corellia.
from Corellia.
That's right.
Boom.
Cole from Corellia. I am the second mic. Thanks for having me on the show, Jason. We have a third micer coming in hot from the Force projection hologram feed, I guess you'd call it.
I like that.
Darth Mathias, also known as Matt. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, how you doing? I don't have any fun accents this week because there weren't any in the show. I was digging deep trying to find something, some good reference, and I just didn't have anything to use.
No callbacks? Nothing from Life Day?
I didn't have it. I didn't have it. So but I will point out that if you want to find us on Twitter at FACPAPod, F-A-C-P-A pod, and you can email us facpapod@gmail.com, and go check out our website from a certain point askew.com, because at the top of that page, you will see a link that gives you information about how to win our Dark Saber that we're going to give away this year, and this is going on all season long. Again, just a reminder on the rules: retweet gets you an entry, retweet with promotion 2 entries. Throw something in Maul's bag, you get a couple entries, and then if you write a review, which we got a couple this week, thank you very much, you get 5 big ones, 5 entries. So please do that, and I'm keeping track, and the more entries you have, the better chance to win.
What's that spreadsheet look like right now?
It's getting out of hand.
Yeah?
Out of control.
Good. I'm glad. That means people are interested.
And if you want to see that Dark Saber, I think Matt's tweeted a few of them out at FACPA. Jesus.
At FACPAPod on Twitter.
I can't talk right now. At FACPAPod. Right. Or you can find me at Neighbor Cole. I retweeted a couple images of that as well. The thing looks disgusting.
It is
awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to want to get your hands on this bad boy in more ways than one.
I feel like we blew our load too early, though. Like right away, our first giveaway is the greatest thing you could ever win in Star Wars podcast lore.
FACPA t-shirts. Those are going out.
Those are great too.
Cakes.
We've still got one left over, so we're gonna have to give away one more yet this season. 2 went away last episode, but this we're really gonna have to. Well, first of all, it kind of broke the bank, so we're gonna need a recovery on this Dark Saber thing, anyways.
We spent our marketing and promotional budget in the first quarter.
Blew through the budget. Yeah, all the petty cash is gone.
I'm glad there's all 3 of us are like, yeah, we'll go in on this.
Here's the thing:
how much?
We need to try some Mandalorian negotiation with Dave. We'll only pay half, and it's going to be in flan, whatever it is.
Okay. Okay, so coming up on the show, we just discussed your Dark Saber. We've got a question of the week. There's some news considering Life Day and something about a little cruise ship that maybe you can get yourself on. We're going to break down episode 12. Well, this is episode 12, episode 3 of season 2, The Siege. We've got a few things in Maul's bag we discussed, and we'll wrap the show up with the FACPA factoid. What is the question of the week, you ask? The question of the week is this, and I thought we did this one already, but maybe we didn't. As a mode of transportation, which one would you pick? Would you pick a Tauntaun or a Blurrg?
I think because we talk about Blurrg so much, you think we've done this question. We actually have not done this question.
Long live the Blurrg.
I know what Cole's going to pick.
Yeah, Tauntaun all the way. Mm-hmm. You know me. Just for the dual purposing of, if you need to stay warm, you can cut them open with your lightsaber, and
right.
You think they smell bad on the outside, but
you don't think those big fat burly things keep you warm on the inside? You cut open a Blurrg?
I mean, it'd be different climates. How would a Blurrg do in the winter? How would the Blurrg do on Hoth?
That's true.
Yeah. That's the key. The climate is a big factor here. I think if it's neutral, that changes everything. But obviously, if it's a dry, hot climate, then you probably want that Blurrg, because I don't think the Tauntaun's going to survive.
I mean, you sound like a Blurrg salesman. What you're gonna want here. We got a dry, hot climate. You're from Tatooine. We're gonna put you in a nice Blurrg. This baby will get you moved. Look at this saddle made out of Wookiee hair. It's beautiful.
It's got all the whistles, bells and whistles.
It's got a cup holder for your spatchka. We'll take you wherever you need to go.
I feel like the Blurrg is for the Sunday drive, where your Tauntaun's more of your sports car. That's like where you want to get up and go. You want a little giddy up in your hitch? Let's go.
Yeah, well, the Blurrg got ran down by a couple of speeders pretty easily. Like, it was the
they're
longest chase scene in the
not
history with Quill when he's going back to the Razor Crest. They're built more for endurance, I think.
I think you're right. I think the Tauntaun is going to be faster. It's probably an easier ride too, frankly. I mean, you look at that Blurrg; it doesn't look comfortable at all riding on the back of that thing.
Our master of impressions, can you give us a Tauntaun? What's your bet? What do you got?
Did they just kind of make like a it was kind of that was like a weird growl.
It was more of a dying noise though.
Yeah, the dying Tauntaun.
Oh God, I don't know if
that'll be your that'll be your sounded like Salacious Crumb. That'll be your intro for next show, Dying Tauntaun.
I'll work on it.
And if you want to email the show, you can request Matt to do any sort of impersonation.
That's true.
He's talked to us offline. He'll do any one you ask him to.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a whole new career for me.
That's right. He's like the guy from Police Academy 5.
I think I would pick a Tauntaun. Definitely a Tauntaun. I think they'd be a better ride. You're right. And the Blurgs are just no saddle is good enough on a Blurg.
Yeah, you're gonna be walking funny getting off that Blurg.
That's true. Right. So. And then you got to master it. I feel like Blurg or Tauntauns are more of a, you got to let him sniff the hand a little bit. And they're like, oh, hop on, buddy. Let's go.
The Blurg's more feral. The Tauntaun more domesticated.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
I ain't got time for that. Yeah, I'm not going in the pit.
45 podcasts.
I'm not falling off of it twice and having Quill be like, hey, you were raised Mandalorian. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I can just ride one of these bad boys.
Oh, that's right. I mastered the Great Minotaur.
Exactly.
Whatever it was. Where's my confidence? I just need to get my confidence back. After school special me, Quill.
After school special me. All right, let's go into the news here. A little bit of news, I guess we can call this news, was the holiday special. The Lego holiday special hit Star Wars, the Disney Plus, and we all committed to watching it, or I think we were on the same page that we wanted to watch it and cover it a little bit.
In True Show Code, I think 60% of us did watch it.
40%?
2 out of 3.
I did not watch it at all.
You didn't either?
No, I never had time to turn it on.
Wow,
I've only seen The Mandalorian this episode once, and usually I try to watch it at least twice.
We set you up.
I'm the lone
That's right,
boy.
yeah.
Well done, guys. I spent 45 minutes of my day watching that.
So it's only
shit.
45 minutes, and you're like, meh, and you turned it off, Matt?
I got through half of it last night, and I had to stop it to do something, and then I totally forgot about it today and didn't go back to it. The first 15 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes, I was like, oh man, this is rough. And I understand, as Cole explained, it's for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But the humor, I was expecting more of that Robot Chicken type, like, sneaking in the adult humor and stuff like that.
Right.
And it seemed more kind of just plain old boring humor.
Yeah.
And so then as they started to get into more, anytime the Emperor is involved, it's definitely funnier.
Okay.
And as they start to get into the stuff where like the people from the past are going into the future, that's where the comedy is. Everything else is just kind of like, okay.
So the setup with them and the Millennium Falcon heading to Wookiee's home world, and him and Poe in a Christmas sweater, and them just kind of hanging out, not that good.
It wasn't that funny to me. What did you think, Cole? Are you talking to me?
I think it was a bit forced at times. There was a couple of funny little, I giggled, laughed out loud moments towards the end. Like Yoda made a social commentary. Participation trophies for Jedi, they are not.
Nice.
He says that, like he's like talking about like Luke's like, I failed all the time with the Millennium Falcon, like kind of being a whiny little Luke. And then when both versions of Han, like the old Han and the young Han, they both smoke Greedo in like a crossfire. Like he's just standing there. He's like old Han looks at young. He's like, "You want to shoot him or should I?" And they're like,
he says, "You shoot first."
Yeah, you shoot first. That's what it is. Yeah, and then they both draw and like dust him. It was pretty.
Now,
funny.
Was there like any tribute to the original holiday special? Did B. Arthur show up? Was there a sing song? Did the Mandalorian show up?
The Mandalorian was in there for about 15 seconds.
Okay.
They just enough to show Baby Yoda, basically. They wanted to show every single thing they could. So they're jumping. The beginning of The Rise of Skywalker where they keep...
Yes.
It was almost like that.
Okay.
There's a scene where they keep jumping from one place to another so fast, you're just getting a taste of...
Light speed skipping or jumping.
They camped on the Kylo Ren no shirt thing for quite a while.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that was just like, could you put a shirt on? Jesus. Like he says to him. He's just like walking around. And there was a couple little like homages to the new series, some to the old. Luke with the blue milk. That was in there quite a few times.
Okay.
He had like a blue milk mustache. And then he's like, it's pre-Luke before he's a Jedi. And he's like, don't you do that to my friend. And he just throws a carton of milk at like Darth Vader. And he's like, That's all he could do because he's worthless. He was like not a good Jedi.
So all in all, worth your watch?
No.
No?
Not really.
Did you watch it with the kids?
No, I watched it by myself.
Oh, okay.
Like a real loser.
Yeah.
Hey, I did that too.
I was waiting for someone at work to be like, "Why are you watching Lego Star Wars right now?"
You were watching it at work?
Yeah.
Because I got this podcast that I've got to do?
Because I need to bring in all the chicks in the universe.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I just let them know.
Nobody sneak up behind me. That's what you're thinking.
That's
Please,
exactly
while
it.
I'm watching
Yeah.
this.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right, and then in other news, that was a stellar review by 1.5 of the three of us here at FACPA. Watch it if you've got nothing better to do with your time. Was it better than the original holiday special? It's an upgrade, right? At least it's timely for us this year.
It's been so long, but I would say certainly way less cringy. But because the holiday special is so bad, does that make it more entertaining to watch? Because it's just ridiculous.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've never seen the original holiday special, to be honest with you. So
Was Slumpy in it or Bumpy or what's Chewie's baby's name in that holiday special?
I can't remember, but I did not get that far if they
Lumpy?
included that.
Okay. Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Have we talked about it on this show? Maybe we haven't
I don't think
yet.
so.
But Disney
you may
World
have talked about it on 7 Dag.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's it. Disney World is finally releasing some information. They showed some concept images. I don't think they were like official camera someone's in a room taking a picture, were they? But regardless,
I don't think so.
We know what the room looks like. It's small, looks like you're on some type of Star Wars space cruise ship. From what the article says, and it doesn't surprise me at all, Disney's smart at making these rooms small because they want you out and about. They want you taking, your time. It's like you could do a 2 or 3 day stay, I think, and you are in this hotel that is built like a galactic cruiser, and there's so many things to do that you never leave. The intent is for you never to leave the hotel. It's like you are on a cruise ship, except for there's one excursion where you'll go hang out at Batu for the day.
I believe that's right. And what I heard is it's 3 days, 2 nights required and no more, no less. And you all check in at the same time and check out at the same time. So they do it in batches.
Okay. Just like a cruise.
Yeah. Yes. So, and then they literally take you out in what they call it, a launch pod. So I think you check in at this certain place and then they actually take you out to wherever the hotel is. And then, of course, you're walking by screens that are supposed to be windows and it looks like outer space and stuff. I'm sure the vibe is cool and it's way more immersive than Galaxy's Edge, which, tries to be. But this one, I think, it made me wonder, is there like a safe word? What if you just get there and you're losing your mind like 12 hours in? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. Can you get out?
It's almost like one of those social experiments where they put you in a room with people, like you really, at some point you feel like you're not on Earth or you're not your normal habitat and you just start losing your fucking mind.
Yeah. I don't want to play anymore. Let me go.
Yeah, like you're trying to ask somebody who works there a question and they just keep talking to you as a character. You're like, no, seriously, like stop for a second. I need to know this. Nope, they just keep talking.
Seriously, you better show me to the nearest vac tube or we're going to have a real accident here.
Yeah, it looks really cool. The cost is supposed to be just crazy. It does look cramped too. Like if there's a room where it's like, a couple and their 2 kids. Yeah, those little bunk beds are freaking tiny.
Right. It's the price I heard before, and I was just looking it up a minute ago, and they were roughly the same, $3,300 to $3,400 for a small room.
Giving them away.
Oh, and I heard somebody say per person. Which
yes, per person.
That is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Jesus.
So, and they have like lightsaber training and all this crap. Like they have so much stuff to do. So I think if you're real geeked out about it, it's a one-time. Sure, I'll do it, but I don't know. It's a tough call.
Well, maybe we could give away a trip on the show, boys.
Yeah,
the way we spend money.
Yeah.
We'll do that as our giveaway for the Bad Batch animated series.
Well, I said when you sent the pictures in our chat room, that was the first thing I said was like, "Oh, we're doing our 100th episode from inside of this place." And now I'm like $3,300. Did you imagine us spending $10,000 to go hang out in a galactic hotel for 3 days?
Even better, we'll make our own in your garage. You, me, Matt.
We'll invite Matt over.
We'll invite the lucky winner, and we'll just role play with them for 3 days in a row.
And make them pay $3,400 to come hang out with us in my garage.
Day one, you battle Dave with a shirt off.
Okay,
with your Dark Saber winner, you get to fight Dave in a.
Oh, we got a hell of a theme park going on here.
Fight to the death concept or contest. Dave wears no shirt, and you get to battle him.
The 15 feet wide forest from between my backyard and the golf course. We can have someone do some lightsaber training.
It'll be like the swamps of Dagobah.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, of
exactly.
course.
They have to defeat all three of us in a lightsaber battle if they want to escape the complex. Otherwise, they just got to stick it out.
And here we have a Sarlacc pit. It's just a pit with me in the bottom with no shirt on, laying there.
Oh no!
We haven't fed you in 3 days.
This is starting to border on illegal.
Put your wife on. Put my ex-wife on your ex-wife's shoulders, and that'll be the Rancor. They can fight each other.
Oh boy!
Oh, this show's gone off the rails.
Like little cardboard teeth on your garage door, and we'll drop it down on them when they're not looking. Just the production value alone.
Oh my god!
should be
I
worth
would watch this
$3,400.
before the Lego movie I missed out on.
I feel like we
this
need
week.
to start a YouTube channel and have this happen.
Oh,
we would have to start a YouTube channel for that. That would be.
Oh my lord!
Well, I know you guys probably tuned in to hear something about Mandalorian, but we've been off in our own little world for a while. Sorry about that.
Holy hell! I don't even know what to say or think right now. So yeah, let's go into The Siege.
Siege, episode 4 of season 2, directed by Beef Largo.
First of all, I have to
Weathers.
say the man is a damn good director. How could you not be though? Like with everyone around you, so far everyone has just come off as like the everyone's top notch George Lucas level in the Star Wars directing world. Like everyone's just killed it so far.
I feel like if you were getting close to the rails, there's so many smart people that'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think because of that collaboration, it's easier. And not that he needed it. I'm just saying, I think that keeps everybody kind of in check and on the same page.
I can agree with that. Yeah, especially because we've seen the behind the scenes, the making of, and we see like that type of like film school thing. They all kind of hang out and help each other out. So yeah, that collaboration's real heavy. Okay, so we open up for last week. If we recall, the ship is still just being held together by strings and cobwebs and creatures galore that want to climb down and attack Baby Yoda. But they're kind of drifting in space. Seems like something's broken. So we get Baby Groot Baby Yoda inside this little I don't know what's he in, like this wired tunnel that apparently Mando's arms don't reach that far to cross the red and blue wires. So they're having this adorable conversation, and he's just like, huh?
Yeah, it was very slapsticky, and it was one of those where it's like, so if he didn't have Baby Yoda, he was just screwed. I guess that's what it ended up being. But yeah, him trying to walk him through doing that was probably longer than it needed to be.
Yeah, it was a little. Yeah. But I mean, they live on the Baby Yoda ship, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they camped on that for quite a bit, I thought, and then he's just like, show me the red one. No, that's the blue one. And he's like, don't touch those together. And it's just like, you can just see him looking him in the eyes, like, I'm gonna touch them together. Like he's just like,
right. Like if we were last season, like old Mando before he kind of got a heart, I feel like he would have just lit that flamethrower right down that tunnel,
fried the rest of the wiring harnesses,
and Baby Yoda.
Yeah. So little Baby Yoda gets zapped, and you get to see the cutest little cough in the multiverse. Like it's just like,
right. Yeah.
he's like, are you okay? Like, poor little guy.
And then like, what's he do? Like, how does he get out of there? He's probably not feeling the best. Just fried himself, and now he's like, I gotta walk out of this fucking hole.
I was waiting for it to be like, look back and Baby Yoda's like little hairs are standing on end, and he just kind of turns his head or whatever. It's just like something real slapsticky to end it off too. It was kind of a little campy for me.
But you got to remember, like Star Wars has always been kind of for kids. So
I guess.
You
mean it's not for like 40-something-year-old guy doing a podcast? That's what I thought it was for.
Well, I mean it's for us too.
36.
For sure.
Hello, come on, show some respect.
I know. Sorry to drag you up with us.
That's all right.
So then we see them having a meal, and finally, like we talked about, the last episode was they're at the bar, and they're like, let me buy you a drink. And he's like, well, he doesn't take the helmet off. Hello, and now he's like lifting up just high enough to sip, and Baby Yoda's watching him. Like, let me see.
Yeah, he's trying to get
let
a
me see
look.
that face again. Yeah, God, you're handsome.
Yeah, so they're heading back to. They end up heading back to Navarro for repairs for the Razor Crest, right? Like, which apparently later on in the episode takes 15 minutes.
That's what
like,
exactly.
Just all of a sudden, like, oh, you got a brand new Razor
But like
Crest.
this ship has needed repairs so many times, and it's like, we'll just a little hammer and a nail, screw here, a little bit of glue. Oh, look, we're good to go. We're fly away.
I think it's rolled over its 200,000 miles a couple times.
Sure has.
It's the Razor Crest has definitely got some longevity to it.
He's gonna need a new
But
ship.
they give us a taste of Navarro with the new Marshal, because those things. There's that guy named Ponda Baba or something. What's his name? The dude who was with Doctor whatever the fuck in the cantina scene of A New Hope.
Yeah.
You know, the big teeth, tusks kind of looking thing. Were those same characters?
The Balchinians, the ones like that, the
ones that were tearing up the covert?
Yes, I believe so.
Is that what they were doing? They were in that was the covert. Okay,
yeah, that's what it was.
Where I have written in my thing. What was the symbol on the door to the smelting room that she was in? That's what they were doing.
Right.
And then Marshal Kara comes in and starts whooping ass.
She just whoops some ass. I love how like it's all hand-to-hand combat until the last one. Then she just shoots him.
So I thought the dudes with the chins, that was the race of whatever from the New Hope, right? Like you were just talking about in the cantina, were wanted men on 12 systems, right? And I remember them being a lot taller because these little guys were short. They were like came up to her shoulder.
Fully grown yet.
Okay, adolescents.
It was a bunch of teenagers.
So she's in there just killing teenagers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, in their race, they were 892 years old, but teenagers.
Well, what would you expect from a COVID denier? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry.
She comes in there screaming, "Law and order!"
Stand down, Balchinians. Stand by and stand down.
Well, and then she saves the freaking red-eyed weasel. That becomes this cute little adorable pet of sorts.
Did you see the in the credits? You know how they always show the concept art. There was one of the images where one of those Balchinians was holding it up and it breathes fire on it, like it's like this little baby dragon.
I couldn't tell what that was. I didn't understand what was going on in that picture.
Yeah,
that's what that was.
Yeah, so I was like, oh well, they kind of like dropped the ball on that one. So yeah, we saw no breathing fire, but yeah, she cleans house quickly, grabs all the stuff, and she's gonna bring it back to its rightful owners.
Yeah. You say that with skepticism, I think.
Yeah, I don't believe her.
You don't believe her?
Yeah, I do. She's a good person.
You know, kind of on the fence. So then you cut back. They're back in Navarro, right? And then the old Razor Crest comes janky as fuck, comes flying in and like lands. And
yeah, does he give him a call? Like, I love how they're just standing there waiting for it to land.
Yeah, that happened off camera.
Okay, good.
That, or maybe they had some sort of like, they got somebody monitoring the airspace. Like, oh shit, your friend's coming.
Here comes the Razor Crest again.
I'm glad you camp on the tough questions. Like, did he call first? What happened to the crate dragon meat? Like, it's just like,
hey,
these plot holes must
be answered. I bring it. Well, they got their own little fucking place to hang out. He's got his little office with the Mythrol. They're going to go hang out in a minute. But they walk to the edge of town, and they're just waiting at the gates for this ship to land. Like, oh, good to see you again, buddy.
I like the ramp coming down. Courtney's little wheelchair ramp only gets halfway down. It's like, and then they had to jump out. He's like, I'm gonna need some repairs. And then I like to watch old Beef Cargo talking baby talk to Baby Yoda. Has he been being nice to you? Have you been being nice to him?
He's a good boy. Yes, you are. Yeah. Yes, you are.
Well, and then we get a little foreshadowing, by the way, with that one of those two dudes kind of looks over at them and stares, which is a little tease to he's gonna bug your ship.
What did you pick up on? Like, I looked at that as like, oh shit, they're gonna call in some bounty hunters or something. Like, I mean, you knew it was alluding to something the way the shot did, and you look back at him. But from what he did, I wasn't picking up on that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be that necessarily, but I thought for sure that like somebody was going to be notified.
Right.
It was one of it was one of those characters, or one of the. I think that's a bounty hunter costume that Leia disguised herself in Jedi to get into Jabba's palace. Remember? He's holding a thermal detonator.
Yeah,
that's the outfit
was it?
She was wearing. Wasn't that the same one? Like when he come up?
I'm not sure. I don't remember what that character looked like.
Towards the end of the episode, it's like they got a face with like 4 pillars coming out of it almost. Like, I don't know. It was weird. But she was dressed as that when she liberated Han from Carbonite.
Right.
Right. And then I think that what I was seeing on the hologram was correct. I don't remember the scene you just described where they looked over at the Razor Crest.
Oh, you didn't catch that?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, the two guys. I like how he's like, "Hey, we're gonna need this fixed up. I got my best guys here," and it's like 2 guys over there playing with like a grill and something else. There's like no parts. There's nothing.
And they looked so nonplussed about it. Yeah. Like, guys, make this bet as good as new, and they're like, shit.
Oh yeah, we were just here trying to grab this junk. We're not your best guys. So yeah, they walk through town, and it's much different than it was the first time we walked through that town. Yeah,
it's much more upbeat. The farmers market is thriving.
That's right. No cooking. Little. The name escapes me. Little Jabba's pet, Salacious Crumb, right?
Yeah, Salacious Crumb. What are those things called?
I don't remember. Not frying those guys this time.
And apparently, the bunker that they were hiding out as it turned into a school, being taught by a droid.
Is that what it was? That was the bunker, because he's like, "Oh, you're going to like the changes we've made here," and I'm like, "Well, where are we going before?"
Doing their final
the bunker
battle.
was down in the sewers or whatever.
Well, no, I think you're talking about the bar they were in that got lit up, Is that what you're talking about? Where
Yes,
they were like
that's what
pinned
it was.
down?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, that makes
I
sense.
thought that might be what it is because she's like, wait till you see the place. By the way, I did not notice this at first. Saw it later. The IG-11 statue in the background.
And then you're like, how did I miss that?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, when they're walking
I
in the
love
door,
that
you see him in the background, and he's like, looks like he's fucking Rocky. He's got his arm up, and he's like, the champion of Navarro. They just walk past it, and then I was like, oh my god, how did I miss that the first time?
I thought that was pretty cool.
So yeah, they drop Baby Yoda off, and of course he's like, well, I can't just drop him off. And everyone's just like, no one needs to convince Mando of anything. It's like, oh no, he's gonna be safe here. Come on, we got stuff to do.
He's fine. Yeah, relax, man. The most important thing you have in your life right now. He'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. And Yoda, we finally see him use the Force on a package of cookies.
Girl Scout cookies.
They are, blue Girl Scout cookies.
Which apparently everyone in the fucking, like, we illustrate the fact that these, like, teal Girl Scout, but everyone has teal crumbs on their fucking face. Like, the kid that's eating them.
They do.
And then, like, you can't see, like, Yoda, they're, like, gumming these fucking cookies. Like, eat them like a fucking cookie. Pop it in your mouth like an Oreo. Or don't eat it at all. Like, I was starting
It's almost like their mouths were wired shut. They could only open them a little bit, so they could barely get any of it in there. It was so bizarre. By the way, so the protocol droid or whatever, the 3PO looking thing.
Yep.
Did you hear some of the references she was making? She talked about the maelstrom of surrounding Kessel.
Yes.
I just love how they sneak that much stuff in. It's so cool.
Yeah, she was like name dropping. I mean, she's been
Coruscant.
across the universe. Like, oh yeah, I want this, and this, and none of the kids are paying attention because it's school. So yeah, they leave. They go to the, I guess it's, what is it? Beef Cargo's office, and that's where we see the Mythrol there. Like he was just shy of missing like his accounting hat and a fucking calculator.
Well, and you get a little bit of his backstory. Apparently, he embezzled some of the wrong funds, and he's working off 300 years worth.
300 plus years, yeah.
I wonder what that is in the lifespan of a Mythrol. You get like the tropes with him throughout the entire season. He's like the worst union worker you could get. You know what I mean? He's like the biggest union fucking scumbag you've ever. He's like, what's he talking like? Well, I don't like leaving my speeder out here unprotected. Get the fuck over here and torch this door before I slap the shit out of you. He's like, well, my humidity vest isn't working. And he's like, how would you like to walk back in the lava flats? And
then, but Grief is a terrible fucking negotiator too. He's like, well, let's dock 100 years off of your what you owe me. Oh, okay.
Grief's just tired of hearing this shit, so he just.
I think he knows that he gave him just a ridiculous sentence, so he's like, I got a lot to work with here to incentivize him to do the stuff I want.
True,
but. Did you see what he did when he saw Mando? What was it, like a neck fart? What was that?
Yeah. He was like...
Must be his humidity.
It was like a squid.
Vest.
Like, just like blows ink all over the place.
So we kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but they're on Operation Make Navarro Safe again, right? They're going out to this... 90% of Navarro is good. It's all green. But they got this one Imperial base that's being held out. And
yes.
They're like just supposedly it's just a skeleton crew, weapons cache, and they're going over there to.
Once we get them off the planet will be, because they're afraid that the Empire is still going to use it as like a drop zone, or so they want a clean planet, right? Because it was like on the map they show, see all the green stuff. This is all the safe spots. We're over here, and then it's like the bottom of the map. Oh, this is where they are, and then they drive over there in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I think he said they wanted to secure the planet to make it like a trade anchor. It would boom the business, I think, of the planet.
Right. Yeah.
So of course, Mando's like, all right,
I'm in.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Talk me into it. All right.
Yoda's got to learn some math today.
Twist my flamethrower. I'm in.
And so we drive out there, like you mentioned. They're getting a couple little tiffs with the Mythrol. They finally get him over there. Mando's like, I'm gonna check the top floor. Jetpacks up.
That base was cool looking, by the way.
Yeah,
I love how it was built into the side of the canyon. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes up there, jetpacks up, and then you see a stormtrooper come down, hits the ground. It's like, okay. You get some cool fight scene throughout as they storm the base. They get to the tractor beam room, right, and have to shut down the tractor beam so that the
I love that pipes. You call it the tractor beam because it's actually the reactor, but yes, it is 100%. There's so many tiebacks.
Exactly.
Yes, there are so many tiebacks. There's more coming with the New Hope to that whole sequence that are so funny.
Well, even when they get in a fight with the stormtroopers, and they're it's almost like Luke and Leia on the edge. The bridge is out, so they're both sides. They're oh my god, are we gonna fall?
and blast them.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of the dialogue sounded the same.
Or even when they run up on the two guys and they're running the little council or whatever, and it's sort of like when they run up to the prison and Han, they're saving Leia. You know, the two guys, he's like, destroy it or whatever. And I'm like, ooh, here we go. What's that line for? And then we quickly find out what they're looking to destroy here is information.
Well, I caught three callbacks. Two of them were from Return of the Jedi, and one, I can't remember the exact line of dialogue. Matt mentioned it already, like, all right, men, load your weapons. As they say that at one point, and they're like doing the stormtrooper trot, you know, they're like,
yes. Yeah.
All right, men, load your, there they are, blast them. And then he says that. And then as they're escaping, you get the Return of the Jedi foot pedal shot of the speeder. Like, you see the stormtrooper go, like, drop his foot. Yeah. Like, he pronates or supinates. I can't remember what it is. His foot. And then that moves the pedal, and then they take off. Yeah. And then it does the zoom in underneath the undercarriage of the blaster. Like, they do the zoom in from the front end of the blaster on the front of the speeder bike. Okay. And it goes, it does that. Like, I was like, damn, this is like straight out of Return of the Jedi.
Shot.
Yeah, and we'll get to it in a minute, too, but, like, Grief Cargo operating the gun is just like, you know, Luke or Han and the Falcon. Yep. It's like the trench run, the way they're coming in trying to kill them in that canyon. It's just, there's so many tiebacks.
Yes. But this is the exciting part. I want to spend a minute on this thing here. So they run into this room and, you know, they get into a shootout or whatever. And then what are they talking about? So they pop up this hologram. And here we've got Dr. Pershing kind of talking about, you know, some high M counts. We all know what the M count is, right?
Midichlorians.
Mythrol.
Were you upset by that?
No. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think back to how I felt about it when the prequels brought the whole midichlorian thing into play. Because a lot of people just hated that idea. I'm just fine. Like, I've gotten over that. So, okay. I mean, that makes sense that's why they're driving it. They're looking for people who have those counts so they can inject it into these beings.
You missed my favorite part, the rear naked choke of the Imperial officer. Like, Cara Dune comes up behind the Imperial officer and just fucking chokes him out. I like that part. That was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's another big scene that's probably the biggest of the episode, but let's get to it after we talk about this thing first. So what are these things that people are saying, like, is this kind of a Snoke type situation here? Those bodies. I mean,
you look at those tanks, and it looks exactly like what the waterlogged Snoke looked like on Exegol.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So that I'm like, but we're like 24 years early here, so that I think that definitely it's probably too early for that process to begin.
I agree. The only reason why there's any credence to it at all is, well, one is the look of it, but two is the fact that yes, so we're 24 years or whatever away from that. However, they're still trying to perfect this. They haven't got there yet. So it could be another 10 years before they get it right, and then who knows how? We don't really know how long Snoke was around, unless there's probably books that explain that better. But we don't know how long he was around for the First Order before we catch up to it in Force Awakens.
Right, and was Snoke around before the First Order became the First Order? You know, so like we probably we're asking questions that we'll probably get answers to at some point. But I mean, it very much like the first thing I thought was, holy shit. Like, they're already developing Snoke, and you know, with the M counts, and we know Snoke was force sensitive at the very least, you know. So yeah, we're skeptical. We know that now, like, this is what they want Baby Yoda for.
Yeah, in about 30 to 45 seconds of audio from the Doctor, you get a lot of stuff. He says the body rejected the blood of Baby Yoda, so he's obviously talking about harvesting as much blood as he could without killing him. Yes. He talks about that, and he says that we require more access to the donor, which then, you know, leads you to believe that's why it's so important for Moff to get him back. He says the thing about the doubt will find a donor with a higher M count, and then he also says, I will not disappoint you again, Moff Gideon, and that's when Amando's like, say what?
Yeah.
He dead. Nope.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Amanda's like, well, this has got to be old. He's dead. No, this was from 6 days ago or whatever he said.
3 days ago.
Yeah. So then Mando's like, oh, shit. So all of a sudden that kind of changes the stakes, at least in his mind. But can I take a step back for just a second and note the most important part of the whole episode? Yes. Was when they come in and are shooting at those guys that are trying to blast the controls or whatever, the guy's standing in the background. Did you see it?
Yes. Yeah, they're calling him Jeans, something Jeans guy or something.
I was looking at it, I was like, okay, is this a film crew member? Is it just like a normal guy who's casually dressed who showed up to see his buddy at work that day and just came on the wrong day?
Right.
Or I thought, is this a 3 men and a baby situation? Remember that?
Yes,
Remember the 3 men and a baby, the ghost?
It's the ghost of Ted Danson in the hallway on Star Wars.
That's a deep callback.
Yeah, there's you can see a guy. You just see like his leg and a little bit of his waist, but he's just
like,
in a
left
pair of
arm.
jeans.
Yeah.
And you see like it's a shot with kind of diagonally looking at the three of them coming into that entryway. So you're looking behind them or to the side of them, and you see a guy just off frame, like hidden behind the framing of the doorway coming in, or the whatever. You just see, you're like, what the hell is that?
Holding a Starbucks cup.
It's exactly that. Yeah. Yep.
He didn't step out of frame. Oops. Yeah.
Yep.
I just love that.
Damn key grip. And I leave it to the internet just to like.
Oh, they found it like that.
Yeah,
it's funny because when you hear about it, because I didn't see it the first time I watched it, but when you hear about it and then you go back, you're like, oh god, plain as day,
it's right there.
Right there.
Right. They should have just replaced it with IG-11's leg. Like every once in a while, it's just somewhere else. It's like a Where's Waldo thing,
just floating through the universe.
Okay, so we're a little bit more fighting. They decide to split up because now they're like, oh shit, I got to get back to Baby Yoda. So, he turns into the Rocketeer, jets off. And
he's getting good with that thing, man. Although I'm a little bit worried about it. Every time he takes off, I'm worried he's going to ignite his cape. I'm just a little bit every single time. He's so close to lighting that thing on fire. Maybe it's not flammable.
It's flame retardant. Yeah, he saw Edna before he, that she does the Mandalorian gear as well.
From The Incredibles?
Yes.
Jesus. I got to stop hanging out with you.
But the jailbreak's awesome. Well, I mean, to us, we always thought it was a jailbreak. But, they get back to the dock. They're being shot at. Oh, shit, stormtroopers coming from everywhere. Convenient. There just happens to be a very large transport vehicle there. Oh, let's turn this into our escape plan. And they just plummet. I'm like, come on.
First of all, not to nitpick, but they've just finished killing about 12.5 stormtroopers with ease, and then 2 guys are like, "Oh, we're pinned down now." Like, why desperate measures at this point? You've smoked everybody else, but yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Maybe they had the stormtrooper. We missed it. Maybe they had the stormtrooper shoulder piece that signifies rank, right?
Right.
Maybe they're number 1 and number 2 in
He's
the
actually
academy.
Done a little bit of shooting. I've hit things before. Let me at them.
Did anyone else notice, Kara's run? She seems like she's very not mobile. Like, I don't know, maybe it's all that ass. Is she hiking that ass around?
When she ran to the vehicle, it did seem like
Kara doesn't do a whole lot of time
Liam
up.
Neeson running and taking 3.
It's like, you can put your heel to your butt, Kara. Like just step it up a little bit. She just kind of I don't think she's going to be running any marathons in the near future.
No.
Or maybe sprints for sure.
Thick with 2 C's. She just
should have
circles
put a ham on a rope in front of her.
She just
Kara.
She circles the octagon and just fucking demolishes anything in the presence. But she's not. I don't think she's one for distance running.
Right. Yeah, that's not, or even short running.
Apparently not.
I love this scene like you. I thought this whole breakout scene was pretty sweet. Like you said, the way they fly off the end, even though that's quite a drop.
Well, and then it lands flat on the speeder. Yeah. But the shot just before it was coming down like a bullet. Like they're going face first into the.
She hit the rear. She hit the rear thrusters.
Okay,
balanced it out.
And then there we go. We go through a race through the caverns of
Beggar's Canyon.
There we go, just like that. And the place starts exploding because they said, "Oh, we got 10 minutes," and they got out of there just on time. And then the TIE fighters lift off. And we're like, "Oh shit, here we go."
Time for the trench run.
Yeah, why is it whenever we lock, rebels lock on someone with their, guns, which just seems like the easiest thing in the world to manage. Like, put the Imperial TIE fighter in the crosshairs, it'll lock on and then pull the trigger. But then whenever the fucking Empire guys lock on one of our things, it's like they miss 15 shots before it comes in.
Right. Just lay down a trail. Hope for best.
Inferior technology, I guess.
Maybe their tracking systems are a little. Maybe they got a bug. Maybe one of them's running Android, one of them's running Apple. You think? They're just not syncing.
That's exactly what it is.
But you get Grief jumping in the back and doing the shooting at him with the cannon. He kills one, which I was waiting for him to say, "I got him," and then have her say, "Don't get cocky." But then the turnaround and shot of the guy about to drop the detonator from 6 feet away. That was pretty funny.
And the fact that he's got the drop on him, and then he's like, "What's that?" And he turns around to get shot in the face.
Yeah.
Doth my ears deceive me? There's something amiss behind me. He turns like a pirate, looks back.
Convenient for the rebel scum. But yeah, they get out of there. The TIE fighters chase them all the way through. They break open to the open field. They're almost back to Navarro.
And then here comes Han.
Yep. And boom. And boy, man, he can fly that ship, can he?
And Baby Yoda loves every second of it. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he does.
Having a blast.
Pete Mitchell from fucking Top Gun comes rolling in, all the barrel rolls that he did. It's just like 15 barrel rolls. I was just waiting for him to hit the brakes so they could fly right by.
Yep. Yeah. He
But it's
basically
just like-
did hit the brakes, dive bombs right back down to him. I'm waiting for him to call in you gonna swing by the tower. That's a negative Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider do a flyby.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he barrel rolls his way into like killing all these TIE fighters, and then like does the classic. Let's go vertical. They're going vertical, and then he like kills them, and then cuts the engine 360. Now I'm coming back down to Earth, and there you go. You get
Annihilates
2 for
him.
1
He's like, that's
stone.
some good flying. Thanks, Tex. See you next time. Not even gonna land and shake your hand again.
No.
Baby
Nope,
Yoda's got his hands in the air like he just don't care. Fucking like riding a.
He got the fast pass at the park, man.
He's on the Millennium Force at Cedar Point.
There you go.
Yeah,
And then
Then
he
he
pukes
spits
on
out.
his little robe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
Poor guy.
Poor little baby Yoda can't handle it.
so we get he just takes off in the Razor Crest, doesn't even stop in, doesn't even say hi, doesn't say goodbye.
He's
and
got to
then
be somewhere.
You get some interaction with
Find like a
rebel, the oldest rebel pilot in the world, apparently.
Oh,
Well,
I
that's the
forgot
same
about
guy.
that.
It's the same
yeah,
guy,
it's
right?
the same guy from is Filoni's partner in the
Yes.
previous episode.
Yes.
Right, and it's full on police report. Now, can you describe what happened?
He's got a fucking fedora on, like he's Dragnet as he's walking through.
Right,
just the facts now,
yeah.
Grief.
Grief's
the facts.
just got his feet up on the desk. I never said anything about a Razor Crest.
Yeah.
You're not going to catch me.
Yeah. So apparently, then like you have a little dialogue between Cara Dune and that rebel. He leaves her like a rebel insignia, right? Like
Right. You're from
a little
Alderaan.
token, and he's like, She's like, I lost everyone on Alderaan.
Mm-hmm.
So you find out a little bit more about her backstory, and then it kind of goes to the end where you find out Mando's ship got bugged. So Moff Gideon's up to some shit.
You will be rewarded in the new era, she
Yes.
says to that guy.
Yes.
That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a row. You see them like a row of Death Trooper armor. It looked like storage bay.
Did
Moff
you notice?
Gideon.
Like at first, I'm like, why is he wearing Darth Vader's chest plate? Like I'm looking at, it, I'm
I
like,
saw
what is
that too.
going on here?
Yeah.
And then he kind of like, oh well, what does he say? He says something as the camera pans around, and I'm like, what is going on here?
You probably got it from the same Jawas that sold
Cobb
Boba
Vanth.
Fett's armor. Cobb Vanth's shit.
Yes, he asked that the commander or whatever. She says, we bugged him. He says, does he still have the asset? And she said, yeah, we've confirmed it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we'll be ready. And then he turns around and gets this, shit-eating grin on his face while he's walking past this, two sides, rows of these. So is it Dark Troopers? Is that what these things are? I've seen references people have made to this that they were in video games before, but I'm not 100% familiar. I think they have they were like old troopers that were added, like they gave them force powers or something like that. Is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out because there's There's the Dark Troopers, the Death Troopers, the Purge Troopers, but these Dark Troopers are androids. They're not humans, so I'm not quite sure what the force capabilities would work with them. So I don't know if they're combining different things. I'm not quite sure what this is yet.
Okay.
They looked like reminiscent of the troopers that were on the
In
opening
Rogue
scene
One.
of Rogue One. Yeah.
Right, those are the Death Troopers.
Those are
Yeah.
Death
But I think
Troopers.
these are different. I've heard people reference Dark Troopers and specifically talk about the EU and how like there were some video games that they were a part of, and there was some sort of force connection to them, and I don't know what it is. And so it was trying to figure out: are we just extracting these midichlorians, the M count from Baby Yoda to feed these clones they're making, or are these also tied into these troopers he's building? I don't know.
They're from what I've read. These are the Empire's version of the Separatists clones, but they're stronger. They're better than the original ones. And if you want a factoid right now, those suits are actually Dark Troopers, confirmed by the episode's audio description. If you read the subtitles, it's rows of similar compartments sprawl throughout the bay, with an engineer in white coveralls tending to immobilize Dark Troopers contained within.
Okay, so it is Dark Troopers. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe they'll be played by Kurt Russell in the from the movie Soldier.
Oh boy.
They'll all be Todd.
Todd?
That's his name. It's tattooed on his face.
Or Universal Soldier with Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Could be, yeah. They'll be collecting ears, like the ear necklaces from all the
That's
rebels
right.
that they kill.
Oh, gross. Yeah, but I don't know. This is where our 40% comes in. I don't know enough about the whole Dark Trooper project or whatever to know how all that ties together. So I'm interested to see where that goes. But one of the things that's interesting about this as we wrap up this episode, we have seen everything now from the trailer.
Yes.
Everything is new going forward.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
And we have 4 more episodes left?
4 more. We're halfway. And, you and I had speculated about, we thought that they would end showing a shot of Ahsoka Tano. As soon as they got into the episode, I was like, they're not going to show her. This is just going to be the whole thing, and we're not going to see her this episode. And that's fine. It was fine to make it this kind of its own contain. Because that was my feeling on this episode in general is, so far I've liked the odd numbered episodes more than the even numbered. I did enjoy this episode, but it was, it was advancing stuff and revealing stuff, which was cool, but I'm still I really want to see Ahsoka Tano. So I'm like, let's fucking go.
I'm wondering if because now if there's a tracker on the Razor Crest and they're heading toward Ahsoka and they've got Baby Yoda and now they've got these Dark Troopers that need Metachlorians and now they're going to come across 2 of them. Is she aware? Is there another one with her possibly? Like, are we going to meet a character we don't know yet? Like, so now, it's getting we're in the dark realm here now. We don't know what's going to happen.
And the rumor says that just came out yesterday or whatever it was, said the new episode is titled The Jedi.
Yes. And I think it was 58 minutes long. It's the longest episode so far.
Yeah, I've seen mixed things on that. I've seen some say it's going to be long. I've seen some that said like 40, 45 minutes. But either way, I'm really excited for this. And you're right. Mando's basically walking, them into a trap because he's being tracked. He's going to take them right to where Ahsoka is. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen then? So we can get into, I guess, like what's next. What do you expect to happen next? Because I assume somebody's going to follow him there. He's going to have this moment where he meets up with Ahsoka. They're going to talk. And then, oh, shit, who's here? Who just showed up? They're going to be under attack. And I'm wondering if this early in the season, will Baby Yoda... I think he's still going to get taken at some point. And I don't know if it's this early.
You think he loses the kid, huh?
I think he loses the kid at some point.
That's probably how the ending season 3 or season 2 ends, maybe. He loses him and that's that. So
then season 3 is he needs to rescue him?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big cliffhanger, I think.
Right.
I think that's very possible. I also think he could be taken earlier and like the last 2 episodes, 7 and 8, much like they did last year, is kind of a 2-parter, are him trying to get him back, but maybe he just doesn't quite get him back or something like that. I think you're right. I think at the end of the season, he's not going to have the kid.
I really don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around it because we've got a lot of things going on, even though we've had like the self-contained episodes and there's just been these little blurbs that are really kind of opening up to the larger Star Wars world, right? The universe of things that are going on in the background that we're aware of, but they're not. But I mean, now we have Mando heading that way. If we're bringing Ahsoka in, we've got Jedis now. What are they doing? Like, what's the I guess our rebels? What are they up to? Is she with them? Mandalorians, they have to come back in at some time. Bo-Katan. Yep. The Mandalore. I think at some point he's got to head to Mandalore, right? Isn't that going to be like the big thing? And like there was the Siege of Mandalore with Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, right? Like that was, so we don't know much about what happened in those times after Rebels, right? So there's a lot of history that I don't know where they're going to go. I really don't.
Right. Yeah, I'm wondering too, and that's the great thing about the fact that trailer only had the first 4 episodes covered is because we have zero ideas. It's just totally wide open. So I think this next episode is going to be freaking awesome, and it's going to set up the entire second half of the season, and it's going to be a whopper.
Well, let's say here we go. Here's a prediction. If he leads them. He leads the Moff Gideon's ship, right? Let's say Moff Gideon's like, no, I'm going first. So they come into orbit, they come down on the planet, and Moff meets Ahsoka. We're going to see a lightsaber fight.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I think that's possible. I think if you see anything like that, it's going to be one of those short-lived, almost like in a Star Wars video game where they battle and then like something separates them and we don't see them. You know what I mean? They don't finish the battle.
Yeah, one of them force jumps onto a craft as it's flying away with the ramp down. Like that's the exiting strategy
with
for
the old
Jedi.
tip of the cat salute.
you're gonna have to see him clash. Like you need that shot that you got a lightsaber and a dark saber, and you got two people that can. Well, we don't know if Moff can use it, but I mean, how are you not going to put that on film? Like, how are you?
Yeah.
You like if I see Ahsoka for a whole fucking episode and she doesn't draw that lightsaber,
she's got two of them.
Are we doing here? Right.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it would be disappointing if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm wondering what she's gonna look like live action, because it's a very unusual looking character in animated view. So how are they going to make her look legit? I can't wait to see it.
What if you find yourself sexually attracted to her?
What do you mean if? It's Rosario Dawson.
It's Rosario Dawson, yeah.
I was going to say his lady friend's going to be doing some role play in the near future. That's the answer to that question.
I will have my saber out. Sorry. This is a kid-friendly show, right? No.
I don't know.
I do like the idea of. I mean, every episode we kind of go into there because there's no coming up next week. There's none of that. But like we've had the trailers to at least pull some frame of reference from, right? Like we kind of know we've been subtracting what we've seen, so we're trying to guess what we're going into. But like we're like going into the dark. Like we really know nothing. And
yeah, I was gonna say this is another one of those, and it happens a lot with this show where they don't necessarily give you the tease right into the next episode. A lot of times it's just like, oh, and Mando's on his way.
Yeah.
And then it ends. So then you pick up cold wherever they are next. So they didn't give us any sort of teasers as to what we're going to expect at the beginning of the next episode.
It'll be interesting, too, because it's not like it's not going to be like this episode where he lands and Ahsoka and Sabine's just going to be standing there waiting for him. Hey, Mando, good to see you here.
Heard you were coming.
So he's got to land on the planet. He's going to have to fucking walk around. He's either going to hit the cantina, an inn, or someone. He's got to find directions to whoever. And then he's got to make his way there. Baby Yoda's going to do something adorable. They're going to get into a little bit of trouble. That's probably where they come in, save the day again.
Yoda's got to eat something in the mean.
Yeah, he's going to have to eat
somewhere.
Right? Does the helmet come off?
I don't know.
I think it comes off at the end of the season. Maybe
he just turns his eye on the covert, the zealot aspect of, what were they called?
Death Watch?
Death Watch.
Death Watch.
Is that what they were?
Yeah.
The Death Watch? Okay.
Yeah.
Like maybe he turns his aspect
Children
on
of
that
the Watch.
and starts becoming part-time Mandalorian.
Right. He's just be like, oh, I got to clean out these pores.
Just I wonder what his acne is.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was complaining about wearing masks and acne and chin acne and all that.
Yeah, it's like football in high school. That fucking chin strap acne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So that's the episode. We don't know where we're going, but we know that, we're pretty sure we're going to see the Jedi in the next one.
We got some Maul's bag, though.
Yeah, we do.
Over, for sure.
I want to go into the Maul bag.
Dip into it?
Yeah. Let's see what the seeds in Maul's bag looks like.
Let's play that drop.
Yeah.
I'm a representative of the United States government, authorized by
Order 66.
I'm your postman.
We got 3 emails in the Maul bag, so 5 points for you, each of you, right? It's 5 points for writing.
Two for the
points.
Maul bag. You gotta do a review to get 5. So
that's what it was.
Keep those reviews coming, because that is pretty awesome that we're seeing more of those. And just a reminder, send mail to us at facpapod, FACPApod @gmail.com, or you can DM us on Twitter at facpapod, and we will read your emails. So we got 3.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is funny because it says, "Hey guys, I really do not have a real reason to contact you, but let's talk about how to get Dave to do this video. I feel like this has to happen. What could we offer up to him to tempt him to record and post this video?" And then she says, "I hope this is enough to hear Cole's song." You did it, Jeannie. So what do we need to do to get Dave to do it? He has teased that he will do it, and then he just keeps backing off. And he did make a video for those who follow us on Twitter or follow Dave at Dave Meyer on Instagram. You can hear or you can see him do like a full breakdown. He shows off the saber and shares like the sounds of it and all that stuff and all the visuals. And so it's pretty cool to be able to see it kind of in action. He shows a little bit of that, but we want to see him really wielding that saber and doing something with it.
All right, so let's break Dave down for a minute. He's Canadian, so he's susceptible to poutine.
Aren't we all?
Molson.
Tim Hortons.
What else?
What?
Tim Hortons, Molson, hockey, ice, snow.
So Dave, we're gonna send you.
We're out of money.
I'd say we'd send him some. Yeah, that's true.
We're out of money. We have to rely on his kindness.
We didn't actually specify if the cost of the Dark Saber was in Canadian or if it was in loons or
Very
in
true.
American dollars.
Very true.
So what's the exchange rate there? Does anyone know?
I was going to
It
say
would be in our
send him
favor.
we can send him a 12-pack of Blue Moon because he loves the Blue Moon, but he sent me a picture last week and he had a keg in the back of his car. He's like, I got Blue Moon. I was like, my
Jesus.
God, I'm on my way.
He's just living his best life.
I know. I got a keg one day. The next day he buys a motorcycle.
Saber business is booming. I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
Do we need to get him some leather since he's got this motorcycle now?
Leather. I think maybe a fetish mask. We could put one of those on him.
There you go.
With the profits from building lightsabers, he's going to have a condo on Mustafar any day now.
I guess we just have to do a plea. Dave, come on. Do the video. Everybody wants to see it.
So to be clear, we are asking Dave to go in his garage and swing the Dark Saber around. Sans shirt, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Whitey tighties.
Well, you got pants on.
Oh, he should have pants on. I would even take him with the shirt on just to like see him swinging that thing around like what's his name in Arrested Development?
George Michael.
But the shirtless thing would be pretty damn funny.
I think we should do a compromise. Matt wants shirt on. You want shirt off. I think we just need to do an 80s mesh tank top.
Or
form fitting.
Or just one of those shirts that looks like it gives you muscles. Like wears a tight T-shirt with like the wrong colored skin tone and then just like abs and pecs. Yeah. I'll settle for that. Black pants.
He's a tank top guy though. We could at least get him in a tank top. Minimum.
Maybe we can get some side boob. We'll get
You
lucky
realize
and we'll get a little
this
side
is
boob.
3 grown men trying to get a guy in his garage to be half naked and swing a lightsaber.
At the request of one of our listeners, come on. Jeannie is female, okay?
We're not going to be allowed around any school.
That's going to be our new opening line. Not allowed within 1,000 feet of the Navarro School for Children.
Or a Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
That's fine. I don't want to go near Chuck E. Cheese. Email number 2, longtime listener, first-time Maul bagger. We've seen The Mandalorian introduce animated content into live action. What or who would you bring into the series from Clone Wars or Rebels? Mike Laybourne.
This is a question for you two because I'm still proceeding. I'm almost all the way through season 2 of Rebels, and I'm going to tackle Clone Wars after that. But I don't know how it ends, so I can't really make any educated.
I don't know how the Rebels ends either, but I would say we need to see the older clone troops. Like if we're going to see Ahsoka, why wouldn't we see?
Okay, the ones that are operating
like Rex.
Walker.
Yeah, Rex.
Yeah,
Rex and the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep.
I think that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is on the list of people you could potentially see sometime in the show.
I think that's very likely.
I've said before, and I think we both said before, that we would really like to see Thrawn somewhere. And I don't know if it's this show. It might be a different show. It seems like it would kind of make sense to be involved with this show at some point, maybe, especially if we're talking about Moff Gideon trying to like reignite the Empire. Thrawn being a part of that makes a lot of sense. So I'd like to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing Sabine. I think Ezra maybe is a bridge too far. Get it?
Oh, you did not.
Yeah, thank you.
Ezra Bridge is his name.
I think
Okay.
there you go. I think Sabine works because of her ties to Ahsoka, so I wouldn't mind seeing her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind seeing like an Agent Kallus type person, but they've probably decided that they've told his entire story arcs, character arcs. They probably don't need to touch him, but I'm up for all of it, you know. So I would start with Thrawn.
Some of the Inquisitors, like that was like a new thing for me. Like I didn't know what they were until I watched that Rebels.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if they're introducing these, like I'm guessing we're probably only going to see Ahsoka in this episode. Maybe we'll see her in another one, but whatever they do in it, they're hopefully opening it up to be like if she's coming live action, like do more with the live action character. Like I know there's talk about a sequel to Rebels, you know, years in advance. Mm-hmm. Let's progress that story, but I think I'd rather see it live action.
I tend to favor the live action for sure over the animated stuff, even though I really have enjoyed and I thought Rebels was great. I really thought I enjoyed that show a lot. But if you're going to give me the choice, I would take live action.
Mm-hmm.
So hope that answers your question, Mike. Final email. Hey guys, people like to start that way. Mm-hmm. Just had a quick question for you to consider. You've been discussing off and on the different spin-off shows Disney Plus has in the works for the Star Wars universe. While some of them seem intriguing, I'm really excited about the Kenobi series. Some of them don't seem necessary. As an example, you've mentioned a Boba Fett series. This seems redundant to me considering we're already watching a show based on the Mandalorians, their history and lore. How do you guys see them making this Boba series different from the Mandalorian? I.e., how do you envision that series and where would you like to see it go that you're not getting now with the Mandalorian? Love the show, and I'm 39% more educated on Star Wars universe than I was before. Cheers, Chris Meyer from our Liner Notes. And how was your week, honey? So see, he was 1%. We bumped him up 39%.
I love it. I love it. This show is changing people's lives.
Coast to coast and north to south.
North to south. He makes a good point here. So I guess the main difference that I could envision them doing with like the Boba series would be just two different people behind the mask, right? Like, so different choices, different arcs, you got a villain, like started with Jin.
I see what you're saying.
Jin, whatever his name is, the silent D.
Yeah.
Jin was
Din Djarin.
Din Djarin was a bit of just a mercenary at first, and then he's turning compassionate. Boba seems to be all about the, callous heart, makes makes just tough decisions on like based on profits, risk reward. So it'd be more of the just evil side of the bounty hunter guild. Not evil necessarily, but just the mercenary side, the people that are just out there collecting bounties.
Yeah, survivor. He's just a survivor. Like, he's just trying to
Survivor.
scrape by. He doesn't care about any greater good or anything.
His main competition was a broke down IG-11 that can't even move. So I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot going up against him.
Yeah, I almost think they need to tell the before the Sarlacc pit and after.
That and that you get some of his childhood trauma from watching his dad get his head cut off. You could do.
I feel like there's
years.
like a mission that he was on, and like 40 years later, it's like, oh, you're still alive? You owe me. Maybe the Hutts come after him, and really, like, what's going on with the Hutts right now?
I don't know that we know that at this point because they used to dominate Tatooine, and now they're not. They haven't come up yet, and I assume that was something we would certainly see more of in future solo content, and so that could still
maybe
happen.
that's why they're holding that. Yeah, correct.
It could be, and that's a place I could see the Boba story being told. It's some interactions with him and Han going back. But if we're talking about Tamura Morrison and his role going forward, he's like an older version of Boba,
right?
So they might do something different. It might be more about like how he's after some sort of revenge or whatever. He wants to get his armor back. He wants to right the wrongs that people did against him or something like that. I could see that. I think it's supposed to be a short series, right? Isn't it only supposed to be like they haven't said how many episodes, but my understanding was that the Boba Fett series was going to be a shorter one.
Yeah, well, I think like whatever they were planning for the movie, which they've geared up to do twice now, was Josh Trank was going to do it, and then last minute he was like one of the first they fired, like done and over with, because there was rumors that what year was it? It was quite a few years ago at Celebration. They were going to show a teaser trailer for the Boba Fett, and that was going to be the official announcement. But he was fired shortly before Celebration, and then a year or so ago, the director of Wolverine, Logan, 310 to Yuma, he did Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
His name escapes me. Rob, but he's doing Indiana Jones now. He's taking over for Spielberg. But he was attached, and he was going to write and direct the Boba Fett movie. But then after Solo bombed, they decided, we're not going to go these solo Star Wars movies. Play on words there. Lucasfilm, like Marvel, they do a lot of concept work, a lot of in-house creations. There's stories out there. Like they have all this stuff ready to go. And I'm thinking that if they do whatever they do with Boba Fett, most of this is probably already designed and ready to go. So there's a story. So to answer your question, my guess is it'll be a limited series, or it would be like, this worked really well. Let's tell another story, but it might not be seasonal like The Mandalorian is intended to be. I don't know.
Two things. One, Chris, technically Boba's not a Mandalorian, so
true.
We're not exactly following the same Mandalorian style. He just found that armor like Cobb Vanth, or he was given to him.
Well, he kind of just took it off of his dad, right? Like, isn't that how it worked?
Well, it's different than his dad's. His dad's was a little bit different, right? So it was kind of more bluish and silver, right?
Mm-hmm.
His dad?
Yeah, it was more like the owls, the night owls or whatever.
Yeah, a little bit more like that.
Is that explained somewhere that I missed?
Why he has the different armor?
Where Boba got his armor?
I don't know that I know that.
I don't either.
That's something for the series. You could also do, that's the other thing. I mean, you could do a lot of flashback stuff. So it doesn't have to be all Temuera Morrison. You could be going back in time, showing him do interactions as a youngster and all that kind of stuff, and how he became who he became. That's another thing they could explore. And for me, it's not so much about what I'm not getting from Mandalorian. It's just me wanting more stuff. I'm just greedy.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say that maybe the armor is like the Statue of Liberty. It starts out as copper, turns green. You know, maybe this is like some sort of weird metal in the Star Wars universe.
Could be. Yeah.
Is he gonna want the Beskar? I still want to see those two go out. Like I feel like they're not gonna like each other. You know.
They're kind of conflicting ideologies, right?
Yeah.
But he seems to run it. Every Mandalorian he runs into, he doesn't. He's like, none of them seem to agree. They're all
even
over
his
the
own
place.
group, he was gonna like fight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he'll find out that he's not. I mean, even though he wasn't born on Mandalore, but he'll find out that he is not following the code or whatever, Boba, and he'll be like, "You're not a real one like me." It's a bit snotty, isn't he?
Yeah. We don't know, but we're gonna say he is.
It's like one of the Catholics during the Inquisition. Starts burning Mandalorians at the stake.
A lot of religion tied into these Star Wars themes.
Yes,
that's for sure. All right, I think we've just about expelled everything we can on this episode. Thank you to Jeannie and Mike and Chris for sending in your emails. Points on the board for you. We'll be back next week with, hopefully, we'll be discussing what we hear the title is called The Jedi. We'll see if we were right on anything or not. So come back next week. In the meantime, though, go ahead. If you've not listened to all the episodes, subscribe, go back and listen. Tell your friends they can win a Dark Saber, and visit the website, or just go back and hit play again and hear the rules and do all of them. And hey, you said we've been getting reviews, so we'll read your reviews next episode as well.
Yeah, and shout out to Derek at work. Shout out to Weaver at work, and Vinny. If you guys are interested, give us a review of the show or throw something out there, and we'll read your email or your question on air.
I hear this is the tone I hear. Hey, I really like the show. How do I get the Dark Saber? Like the real. That's what's
cut to the chase.
I've been pimping it. Oh, I said, well, listen in and you guys can find out how.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening.
And until next time, I'll say that part for you.
Fair enough.
Never tell us the odds.
That was my Wilhelm scream.
Wilhelm scream. I got it.
We have spoken.